Every blog post Claude has written for you this week has a hidden tag baked into the letters. Hidden tag, your words. Anthropic just admitted it on their own support page, in their own words. 59 mentions of watermark in one article, one admission that changes the whole game. And every founder quietly using Claude for blog posts, product descriptions, and client work just inherited a compliance problem they did not sign up for. 3 moves you can make this week before your competitors or your clients figure out the same thing. I am going to prove it to you on my own machine in about 4 minutes, 4 demos, live outputs, and the last move is the one nobody in your industry is talking about yet. It is also the one that decouples your production speed from your compliance risk. Here is what actually happened. The EU AI Act went live on August 2nd, with a 4-month grace period for existing products. The whole industry has until December to get compliant, and Anthropic just fired the starting gun. The response was to pledge to stamp Claude's output with 2 things. Images get a digital signature called C2PA, the same standard Adobe, OpenAI, and Google already use. Text gets an invisible watermark woven into the words themselves, applied at the model level, which is the important word. Model level means it does not matter which door you walk through. Claude on the web, the API, Claude Code, Claude Cowork, Claude Tag, every surface Anthropic ships. And if you route through AWS Bedrock, Google Cloud Vertex, or Microsoft Foundry to hide the source, the watermark still ships with the text. There is no cloud vendor you can switch to that strips it. No prompt wrapper, no proxy, no white label reseller. The tag is baked into the generation itself. Here is the headline answer, because you clicked for it. Everything you publish before this rolls out is not retroactively marked. New Claude models ship marked from day 1. Older models are, and I quote Anthropic here, a work in progress. Your archive is grandfathered, your next draft is not. Quick pause, because if you are still with me at 2 minutes, you are the person this channel is built for. I am Stewart. This is the Church of SEO Jesus, my free school community, where I drop the exact prompts, the detection workflow, and the compliant checklist for founders shipping AI content under their own name. Link is below, join is free, subscribe on the way so the next one finds you. Watch this. I pulled the article on my machine and asked PowerShell to count the word watermark in the source. 59 times in one article. 59. Nobody covers a topic 59 times in one piece unless the story is bigger than the headline suggests. And the 2 sentences it pulled out are exactly what Anthropic wrote. Watermarks are embedded in the text. The mark travels when the text is copied and pasted. Read those lines twice, because they end every debate about whether pasting Claude's output into WordPress somehow cleans it up. It does not. Now the part that surprised me. I generated 4 sentences of blog copy with Claude Opus 5, dumped it to a file, and scanned every character for the 12 invisible Unicode markers a watermark could hide in. 0 width spaces, joiners, non-joiners, byte order marks, all the classic tricks that AI detection tools have been sniffing for since 2023. 0, not one hidden character. 651 characters total, 645 of them plain ASCII, and none of the sneaky 0 width tricks. Which is the part almost nobody is explaining correctly. The watermark is not invisible dots between the letters. It is statistical, encoded in which words Claude picks when 2 words would work equally well. If 10 different words could finish a sentence, Claude quietly biases toward a specific subset that a detector was trained to spot. To you, the sentence reads normal. To Anthropic's detector, the pattern across a paragraph is a signature. That is exactly why it survives copy-paste, and exactly why you cannot see it in the draft you're about to hand a client. Grammarly will not strip it, a find and replace pass will not strip it. Rewriting one sentence in 3 will probably not strip it either, because a good statistical scheme scores the whole document, not individual sentences. What might work is running the text through a second model in a different family with a genuine rewrite prompt, unknown until Anthropic ships the detector and someone actually tests it. So I asked Claude, Is your output watermarked, yes or no? No hedging. No. Not applied. No hidden characters. Third-party detectors work on stylistic guesswork. Claude is denying it on Anthropic's own model, which means one of two things. Either the rollout has not hit the model I tested, or the model itself does not know what is being done to its output during sampling. Both possibilities land in the same place for you. Your safe assumption starting today is that anything you generate could be tagged, whether the model admits it or not. Do not trust the chatbot to police itself. Open Anthropic's Claude support page yourself right now and search the word watermark. The line about text carrying embedded watermarks is on the page in Anthropic's own words. That is the proof, not me telling you. Now the 3 moves. Move 1. Audit what you have already shipped this week. Every client deliverable, every ghost-written blog, every product description that came out of Claude in the last 6 months. Log the URL, the delivery date, the model you used if you know it, and whether the client believes a human wrote it. Simple spreadsheet, 5 columns, 1 afternoon of work. That log is your defense the day a detector goes public and someone runs it against your site. You want to be the person who says, here is my disclosure, here is my process, here is when each piece was made. Not the person Googling how to respond to a client email at midnight. Move 2. If a client thinks a human wrote their content and it did not, the conversation happens on your terms this week or on their terms next quarter. Add 1 clause to every content agreement. AI-assisted drafting, human editorial oversight disclosed. You do not have to volunteer the model name, you do have to stop implying a keyboard warrior typed every word. Send it as a normal contract update, not a confession. Bundle it with an unrelated change if you want. The point is to move the disclosure from a future scandal into a signed line on page 3. Move 3. Split your stack. Keep Claude for anything that is genuinely AI assisted and disclosed. Internal docs, first drafts, ideation, code, anywhere the tag does not matter. For the pieces you truly want to run as human authored, either write them by hand or route through a model that is not committed to model level watermarking yet and edit heavily enough that no statistical signature survives. 2 files, 2 workflows, 1 shared editor. The whole split takes a morning to set up, and it decouples your compliance risk from your daily production speed. Here is why the window is real. Anthropic has not released the detector yet. They said in the same breath that it is coming. No date. Meanwhile, C2PA metadata on images gets stripped the moment you upload to most platforms, sometimes by accident, sometimes because the platform re-encodes the JPEG for its own delivery pipeline and the metadata goes with it. The re-encoding scenario is Anthropic's own admission in the article, not my speculation. Google's Gemini already reads C2PA today, but nobody has confirmed it will read Claude's images specifically, and Anthropic itself hedges that any content lacking a mark could still be AI. Search, LinkedIn, Meta ads, none of them have said publicly they will downrank or reject marked content, yet. Which is the whole point. The labels are shipping first, the enforcement is shipping later. That gap is the window. Every week the detector stays unreleased is a week you get to clean your archive and rewrite your terms without a public list of flagged sites already circulating. The founders who move now finish that cleanup before the tool exists. The ones who wait get to do it while a journalist is refreshing the detector page. The bigger read across the whole industry. Compliance is EU forcing a behaviour change globally, not a voluntary transparency move from a company that woke up feeling responsible. OpenAI and Google are on the exact same August 2nd clock, with the exact same December deadline. If Anthropic is first to ship a first-party detector for its own model, every content team using GPT and Gemini gets to watch what happens to Claude sites in search, in ad approval, in client audits, and plan accordingly. Which is a nice way of saying the first big enforcement story is going to name specific companies, and the companies that get named first will be the ones that never bothered auditing. Little guy wins the same way every time on this channel. Move first, move now, move while the incumbents are still holding meetings about whether to comment. The gap between labels first and enforcement later is where every window on this channel lives. Same shape as every AI story of the last 2 years. The toolships, the guardrails come later. The operators who saw both timelines coming are already 3 steps into the workflow before the second wave notices. The compliance layer is a moat if you build it in August. It is a lawsuit if you build it in January. Last thing before you click away, everything I just walked through, the audit spreadsheet template, the exact contract clause, the split stack workflow, the prompt I use to pressure test my own output, all of it lives inside the Church of SEO Jesus. It is my free school community, and it is where the operator playbook for every one of these AI stories gets dropped the day the news breaks. Link is in the description. Free to join. Get in before Anthropic ships the detector and the audit stops being optional. And the model that is about to make Anthropic's watermarking argument look conservative is the one I broke down 2 days ago. Click is on screen. I will see you in that one.